I have booted into a fresh copy of focalpup32. Although I moved the hard drive partition icons down here and also simplified a tray setup, single tray up here. You don't need to do any of these just to install i3. So what you do need to do is i3wm, i3 status, volume icon, because once you boot into i3 you're gonna lose this bar. So we do want a speaker volume icon on the i3 status. So after that installation, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and edit a single file which will have JWM and just replace it with i3. That way when we reboot, we'll boot into i3 tiling window manager. When you reboot, you have to enter a return key twice, and then you would have completed logging into i3, and then we'll go through the main editing of a configuration file, and also we'll have to edit the status bar file, and then finally we'll link them together to complete the i3 installation in focalpup32. So that's the plan. So to install packages, what we'll have to do is fire up Puppy Package Manager. I would recommend that you go ahead and update package database first, and then we'll just simply type in i3, and then we'll give it an OK, and then we'll click on package tab here just to alphabetize everything. And then when we go down here, we're going to get i3-wm, which is what we'll need. We'll also need i3 status. So just to show you this i3wm, we'll go ahead and install it by tapping on do it. So now we've downloaded and installed those 4 files. We'll close, and then what we need to do is go ahead and edit a one file etc window manager. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and Alt F2 will bring up a GEXEC window here. So we'll just go ahead and simply type in rocks etc and then enter. Here's the etc folder, and then here is a file, the window. Here is a window manager file. We're gonna simply drag it into geany, and then you notice that it's already in JWM. Will be we want to boot into i3, so we simply just go ahead and change that into i3, and then save and then reboot. After entering a return key twice, you should be at this screen. Now it is running i3 tiling window manager, so nothing will work. So you can see that there is a i3 bar down here, and then to get the terminal started, initially what you want to do is super and return key will start the terminal, and you can do that super and return key again, and it's gonna open up another terminal. This is a tiling window manager. So to close an application, what you have to do is super shift and Q. So that's how you close an application. So the start synapse, and then this is what it's going to look like, and it luckily it starts in the middle, which is good, for launching an application, we'll go to Preferences, and we definitely want to start up and login, and we also want the Virgilio that makes it, that's my preference anyway, so that's the behavior. And then go ahead and close, and you see the icon here, but this will not start when you reboot. So what we have to do is go back here. What we have to do is go ahead and edit the main configuration file to make sure that it starts. And then what we want to add here is a little phrase, so it will start, and I'm just going to cheat. And then what we want to do is go ahead and copy this here, and then going to make a copy. So this little paraphrase script will automatically restart on boot. So this is what we need, and then we're going to go ahead and close, and then go back to 1, and then Super Shift and Q is going to stop, and you'll see that the icon disappears. Now at this time, what we want to do is take a look at the rocks. So super and return, and then we'll take a look at the rocks, and then we're gonna go into the dot config, and then dot the i3, and here is the main configuration file. Before we do anything, we want to do is make a copy. So right click on it, and then copy, and then right click on the window, and then paste. So we have a copy that if we mess up, we can always recover. So we'll go ahead and open this in Geany. So right click on it, and then go to Geany, and it's actually opened in the window 2. But for you, it's going to open up here, or the screen. So we'll just go to screen 2 here, and then here is the main configuration file. So let me just go all the way up, and then just take a brief look. And font Pango is monospace 8. This is controls the size of the font, and I prefer it a little bit larger, so it'll be wider height next time. So we're going to go ahead and make that 12. And then we don't have a i3 lock involved. This locks the screen. We don't have that installed at all, so we just disable it. And then applet is the Ethernet Wi-Fi control applet is not active at all, so we're just going to disable that. Now here is the terminal. So it super and return key starts i3 sensible terminal, which is not actually installed, and we don't need it. What is installed in the Puppy here is lxterminal, and furthermore, I like to have a super and T start the terminal. So that, and then now here is right now Super Shift Q is going to close any application. I prefer not to have this. I prefer just F4, I should say. This is my close any application in PuppyLinux. So, but if you do want Alt F4, for example, what you need to do is here, mod 1 plus F4 is the key. Don't put ALT. So that's not going to work, but I'm just going to go back to F4, and then D menu is not even installed. We're just going to use a Synapse as an application launcher. And then next, we want to just go ahead and to split horizontally or vertically. Next screen, you can use this command, but I prefer super and shift and H. So I'll just go ahead and put that in, shift, and then similarly shift plus V to vertical screen, a split, and then I'm just going to disable this full screen toggle. And then I find myself, I don't really use stacking mode, but I do use tabbed mode extensively. So what I want to do is go ahead and again shift, and then T. So what that does is when I open another window, what it does is it actually doesn't open on the right side. It opens in the whole screen, but you can go back and forth with a tab. So, and then similarly, what we want to do is go ahead and add shift plus E to get back to the normal tiling mode. And then here, likewise, I want to disable it. And then I want to disable tiling and floating, and then I'll disable that. And then I actually do not use more than 6 windows, so Control K will just delete the line. And then now we're going to so right now let me just put a little here. So right now is Super Shift C is going to reload the file, but I prefer Shift Control to reload and restart. So Shift and Control. So we'll go ahead and add Control here, and then Control here. So we're going to save it. Now, to reread the changes here, originally was Super Shift R, so we're going to go ahead and reread it by Super Shift R now. Now, if I'm going to reread again, from now on it's Control Shift and R. But now we have an error, so we'll take a brief look at the error. So it says something about a neg bar. So what you need to do is correct that. So you almost always is a duplication of the keys. So when we and then we'll just go ahead and close this F4. Now F4 works. So here is something with the neg bar. Neg bar has to do with rebooting and so on. So I'll just go ahead and disable it. Now we shouldn't. I'm just going to save it, and then just going to reread the changes and Control Shift and R. So now we do not get the error. So similarly, I don't really need to resize windows, and so if you have a split, it allows you to resize with a keyboard the windows that so I don't really need it. So we'll just go ahead and delete all that, and then save, and then status. At this time, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put in an extension here to enable linking that a bar with a main configuration file. So let me just cheat and go to, so to link, what we need to do is just add where the status configuration file is, which actually is not even installed at this point. So, but I'll just go ahead and copy and then go back to the main configuration file, and then Control V, and then we have to make sure there's a space. So once the status configuration file is installed, it's going to start talking to the main configuration file. Synapse is not working, so we'll just go ahead and try to start it with the Super T starts, and then we're just going to synapse, And then now here you can go to any quick setup, for example. So now we got Synapse working, so we'll just go ahead and exit it. We'll go ahead and start Geany, and then we'll go back here, and then we'll go ahead and exit it. Now we still have Geany. So I think that at this point we're at this level here. We modify the main configuration, and then we will go ahead and copy the configuration file to the i3 folder, is where we want that tray configuration file. So we'll just go ahead and copy that, and then start the terminal, and then go ahead and middle mouse click, and then now there is a configuration file that's been transferred over. And then what we will do is go ahead and geany into it. So Super Shift and T. So you can see now there is a lxterminal. And what we want to do is go to Super, and left arrow will go get to the geany. And then here is the iStatus configuration file. It controls the appearance of this. What we want to do is just go ahead and disable everything. You can go ahead and put this here, or what I want to do is just go ahead and delete everything here. And then we only have a time that we want it to be shown. So, and then also we want to change the format here. And then I made a cheat sheet of the format of the time, which is what I prefer here. And then go back to i3 status, and then Control V. Now we have this, and then now we're going to save it. It hasn't shown up yet. So what we'll do is Control Shift and R to reread the configuration file. Let's see what happens. It's still, you notice that now it's changed. So now what we have to do is we want a volume. I want to go into my application bin directory, and then create a file, and then make that file executable, and then open it up in Geany, and then exit the terminal itself. So we'll go ahead and copy this, and then we're going to go ahead and open up a terminal. And then now you notice that it was still at tiling the tagged mode. So we'll go back to Control Shift and E, Shift V, and then open. Now we have the volume icon. No, a little script that needs to be put in is here, so I'm just going to make a copy of it, and then we're going to go to a volume.icon.sh, and we're going to paste it. So we'll take a brief look. So the wave file, little two barks is in this wave file is in all the PuppyLinux, and it's really needed because there's a minor bug in that volume icon will not show properly without it. So this is what is needed. That's why we need the volume.icon.sh, and then we're going to close. So now we need to add this to the main configuration. So I added this here to the main configuration file, and we're going to save it. Now I rebooted, and everything is working properly. So Synapse works, control and spacebar, and then additionally volume control also works, and I heard a couple of barks as it was just right after booting. So here is any questions about what I did, or how do you want to further modify, you may want to go to this page, and I'll leave a link to this page